we went at it a little bit about Big Ramy a couple of shows ago, and you were saying that as long as he shows up, he's going to win. I'll tell you, did you see the latest on Dennis James's podcast?
I
Yeah,
remember you
me,
gave me this.
please. Chris Cormier and Milo Sarcha, and they were talking, and Lee hit him with the tough question about Ramy, what's going on with him, and I found it very interesting with Dennis. Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I literally I haven't had time to sit down and do anything except most important shit.
I don't know what's going on in this guy's head, but you know what? Dennis said he spoke to him. He was supposed to be there Friday. I think it was either as late as Wednesday or late as Thursday. Right? If I remember correctly, it was Thursday that he spoke, or early Thursday. He spoke to him, and he's in the see him Friday at the show. One of the reasons why Dennis came down to the Pittsburgh Pro is because of his association with Ramy now the last couple of years, helping with the prep, and he was there to support him. So, as far as close as the day before, he was speaking with Ramy, and he's supposed to meet him there. Dennis James doesn't, and he's been reaching out trying to get a hold of him or people that he would normally speak to. He can't get a hold of anybody.
I remember that. Yeah.
Rami is not gonna. If he does show up, I'm taking a task on this one. He's not gonna leave. Even if he does show up, he's not gonna leave three-time champion. Uh, I don't know what's going on in his head, but he doesn't have that mindset. That's yeah, you need great genetics. You need to bring a great package, but the mindset a lot of times separates the champions or the great champions from the rest of the pack, and he does not have the mindset. And I think one way or another, whether he shows up or not, we're going to see a new champion this year.
Yeah, especially with I agree. With what he did lately, and when you think about a Mr. Olympia, they're the ambassador of the sport. So, uh, showing your face at something that you promised to be at and then not is pretty huge. So
You don't want to start screaming politics, but the truth of the matter is that almost everything, politics to some degree are involved.
oh yeah.
And the fact that this is the president of the IFBB and NPC, Jim Mannion. He is the biggest kahuna of big kahunas. And you don't, at least if some, contact him. If you have to lie and make up some kind of story, I had that issue at work. We got these kids that just don't show up. You're better off calling, just making up a story, than just not showing up. He was a no call, no show, and you don't do that with the big man. So in general, there's some degree of politics involved with it, with everything or almost everything. Screwing around like this, and not just with Jim Mannion. From what I hear from Dennis's mouth, he's missed numerous engagements.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is not the first and only one. He's missed numerous. So, and I brought up before about his mindset. I made a couple of videos about it. I told you, it seems like he's not very secure with who he is. At times, he was trying to be Kai Green. At times, he was trying to be Ruli Winkler. Uh, and I don't know what else is going on with he's so secretive. You know, what the fuck's going on with his life? what else is getting in the way of everything? And one more thing, according to Dennis James, last year he was at one point he was almost ready to quit.
Oh, really?
Just
Wow.
yeah, he wanted out, and I don't know what turned it around.
I'll throw this out there. He's probably such a big thing over there in Egypt, and I think that's where he's from, right? Egypt.
Yeah.
And he's probably treated like a king, you know, and he won the title twice, brought it home, so to speak, and maybe he's just like, well, I'm too good for them, and he could walk away just like that and still be a celebrity forever over there.
Well, you know what I mentioned when I talked about it in the video I made. What I'm thinking is, 2020. Let's not make an argument about his placing, although some people will. We'll give him that. He brought in good conditioning, probably the best conditioning he ever brought. I think 2021 was a totally different Romney. I think he slipped quite a bit. I mentioned that I think it'll be the same situation like we have with Jay Cutler. It'll be, okay, we gave you this one, we're not going to give you another one. And hearing all the criticism, I know I'm getting a little winded here. Hearing all the criticism, right, he's still champion. He's still this major hero, celebrity back home. Actually, throughout the whole Middle East, bodybuilders looked at a lot differently.
Yeah.
He goes out like this on top. He's that big celebrity hero. He's the idol of all of Egypt and the Middle East.
He
But
probably knows.
well, but 1 second. What if he comes back and now that's taken away from him, and he looks
Yeah.
not even as good as he did last year, which was worse than the year before, and he loses? Will he lose that status? You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
That's literally what I was gonna say too. He probably, and like you were saying, his mindset's not there. He knows it. So he's like, all right, I might as well walk away while I can as the guy on top. So
From what you're seeing of him lately, do you think he had right now? Do you still think he had? You think he would have won? He would win as long as he shows up, or are you starting to second guess what you said last week or the week before?
well, for sure, I retract that at this point. I said that more out of like frustration with judging. Being a little, I don't know, stepping a little far, just saying that, just kind of throwing one at them because it's just if Ramy can win, I mean, they're just looking for a big blimp, basically.
I got another one for you. Who's right now from what we're seeing, what you see right now? Who's most likely to step in and grab the title?
Well, I don't see Hunter Labrada getting it. I think safe to say Derek Lunsford's going to stay in 212.
You still think you think he's going to stay in for at least another year?
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't need to get any bigger, that's for sure. He just needs to work on his muscle maturity and separation. That's it. He's fine.
Who do you think is most likely to step in and
Well,
take place?
well, I'm not a fan of Bonac. I don't like his midsection at all. It's like his lats insert right into his waist, so he's just like a thick muscle barrel in the middle there. But I mean, he could probably come in top 3 if he comes. Then you got Nick Walker, of course. I mean, he's probably the one standing out who could just walk away with it because who else compares to him, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got nobody left.
Last year I said he's a future champion, but I gave him a 2, possibly 3 years the most. But right now, the way things are looking, and I'm watching him, the way he's fucking growing. He's like, I'm not trying. I'm not saying he's another Ronnie Coleman,
No.
but just the way he's growing, and that's closest comparison. He's just exploding, and he's keeping everything in check on top of it. He's scary. He's really scary.
There's something about his legs I don't like. I'm not talking about the varicose veins or whatever. I mean, we know that's like a valve issue, but it's just the shape of his legs. Maybe it's the way he displays them. I don't think he displays his quads quite right, because when you display your quads, you tilt your hips back almost like you're going to sit in a chair, and he bends his knees a bit much when he does his front quads. So I don't know if he's displaying what he has incorrectly, or if the actual shape of his quads I'm just not liking. I'm going to pick him apart since he's the top guy. I think I lost you.
Maybe it's
Oh, there you are.
I got your back. Okay, I was trying to keep it going, but actually, I think you saved me. Well, as far as the posing is going, the way you're going to position in a certain pose might not be the best way for me to position myself in a certain pose. You got to find the best way for you to be. Some people back shot might look a little better, leaning the shoulders back a little more. It's just the little differences that the pose works better this way for this person and that way for that person. Maybe it's just that he needs to find the way the pose works, the way the pose works best for him.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering that because you see his legs while he's training, they're gigantic. They're cut even in the off season. But then when it comes to say his front double bicep, they just they disappear or something like that. It's like he doesn't know how to show them.
You know what? Yeah, it's. Let me use Rully Winkler for example.
All right.
Rully Winkler at his best over there when he hit the back double biceps. His lower back down the center seemed to disappear. But when he does the back lat spread, there's development over there. I think the way he was positioning himself when he's doing the back double biceps, double back biceps, I think in his case, he was leaning back a little too far. And that position didn't work for him. It made his lower back thickness disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the hardest pose for people to do these days, to do it correctly. And like you said, you got to find what works for your body. But I feel like a good example of someone who hits it right, two people I'll give you was first I'd say Phil Heath. I think Phil Heath did his rear double bicep better than anyone. And then the second best I would give would be Jay Cutler.
Well, Phil, he tends to lean back a lot, but it works for him though. That's the thing.
It works for him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the way he positioned his legs, you could tell that he was digging his legs into the ground and separating his feet, kind of thing. And he would activate every muscle in his legs and his hammies all the way up through his back. You could tell. And you see some people where they're just standing on their legs and then they're flexing their back. It's you got to be like a tree rooted in the ground. You reach up and you fucking hit that pose. To me, that's how you show everything.
So let me hit you with this question.
Yeah.
If I put you on a spot and said you had a bet on someone, Who are we going to bet on to take to step in and take the place of the champion?
I think Nick Walker's the guy who's probably going to do it. I'd like to see Hottie Chupin do it, but I just don't think they're going to ever give it to him.
Well, I think with Hottie, I really do think his shoulders is going to be an issue because
Yeah,
I said before the judges had told him that was an issue when they were judging him, and recent pictures of him looks like nothing was done for it. And some people are still screaming that he's shooting oil into it. I don't think he's shooting oil. I just think he's doing all his injections and his delts. Now, I used to like to do a little bit more in the in the delt, because it help cap it a little bit. But I didn't do every single one. You don't do that. I think and these guys are using more than what I was using anyway. So he's just popping it in over and over again. He's not doing anything to prevent it. They're not going to like that. Not
I
going to like
wonder.
that.
I wonder how many CCs he's put in there at a time. I've seen some videos where a guy put 3 CCs into his damn shoulder. I'm like, good God, how did it? How?
Yeah, it's
Right?
I don't know. It's but he doesn't even have to be. The thing is, he doesn't even have to be putting in that much. It depends on what he's putting in there, and the fact that if he's doing all of his injections in the same spot, of course something's going to go wrong. He's
Yeah.
going to get a reaction,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what I don't think he's using oil. So it doesn't. Excuse me. It doesn't look like he's changing his protocol, switching up where he's sticking it. So I don't think the judges are going to go for it. So you think that you would go for Nick Walker over Brandon Curry also?
Yeah, I was about to ask about Brandon. What you thought? What do you think about Brandon?
You know what? I think he has everything to. I think he should have beaten Rami last year. I think
Yeah.
Walker. What it comes down to is over bodybuilding is a freak show, and everybody loves a freak. And when a freak comes in with crazy conditioning, and you look at him like a year and a half ago, he still had a blocky look. The way he's developed, the way he's filling out, it's taken away from that. He actually it looks like he has pretty good shape, which he's gotten his shoulders, his arms and his shoulders, upper backs, across the chest, so wide, and with those legs, like with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was a little on the blocky side, but he
Mm-hmm.
was so wide at the top. And
Sorry.
who's he attacking?
There's some kid on my front.
Yeah.
front
But he had such a so wide upstairs and such a wide sweep. It took away from any blockiness he had. So Nick Walker has that freak factor. People want to see a huge monster. He has conditioning, and he weighs is in check, and he has pretty good shape. He's a fresh face, and I got a feeling he would be very much out there. They want somebody to be that's going to be out there.
yeah, he would be for sure. Yeah, he's a
And
fresh face. He's young. He could probably do a good 8-year run if he plays his cards right.
he really, you know what? People are still keep on screaming about the gear. I don't think he's using as much as some people think he's probably using. I think some people are just hyper responders. They respond. Me and you can be doing the exact same protocol, food-wise, training, and special supplements, we're going to look totally different.
Oh
You're
yeah.
going to respond to everything totally different than I am. I just think he's just a hyper responder. How many people were able to do what Kevin Levrone did? You see Kevin Levrone walking down the street one day, he looks like the average Joe. Less than a month later, he's a freak.
Yeah.
I think the kid just has these crazy genetics. And yeah, not denying the fact that he's on. I don't think he's using as crazy amounts as people think. This guy is going to be, and he's young. I think he's going to be around for quite a while.
Well, I heard him say that he got his calcium score done and his whole checkup, and he was clear. He said he had zero calcium deposits, and I mean, when you got that, and your blood pressure's in check, and you're
Let me tell you something. If he keeps himself monitored,
yeah,
and at his age, it's if you, I think the problem now also with some of these health issues with the bodybuilders is that they're competing at a later age than they did a number of years back. So they're pushing it at a later age. Their bodies are not the same.
hmm
It's one thing pushing it when you're 30 years old like that, than trying to push it the same way when you're 40 years old. It's two different animals.
yeah. I mean,
And he has that. If he monitors himself, he's at an age where he can push himself and not really have to worry too much, as long as he keeps things monitored.
yeah, for sure. Well, it seems like he's playing his cards right, so uh, probably see him around for a while, and as the years go on, he will his physique will continue to improve. So he's plenty big. I mean, he doesn't need to get any bigger. He could just work on his muscle maturity. Maybe more chest, some more chest in there, some thickness in his chest, actually.
You know, I found a little mind blowing. I just saw a picture of him. Uh, oh, there's a way for us to share stuff on the screen. I got to figure out how to do that.
Mm,
We're tech illiterates over here, so I can put up these pictures as we're talking about things. But I was just saw some pictures of him on Instagram, and they're recent pictures. He says he's 293, and
damn.
if he's 3, and you've got to see the conditioning he has in those pictures. Like, if he's 293, this kind of conditioning, the waist is still tight. I don't know, man. This guy he is scary, scary, dangerous. And I also think that we're going to see him as the next Olympia champion. I think he's going to take it this year. I'd like to see Brandon come back. I like Brandon. He's a super nice guy. I don't think anybody's. I think he's a locomotive coming at your full speed, and he's be able to derail him.
Yeah, what he's getting close to 40, right?
No, well, I'm talking about Nick Walker.
Oh,
Brandon, I like to
yeah,
see him take it back again. He's just such a nice guy. But with as far as Nick Walker goes, he's like a locomotive. I don't see anybody that's gonna be able to derail him right now.
yeah. I'd say it's a safe prediction, man. The more you think about it, I think we'll see Nick Walker win it, and probably be the best Nick Walker we've seen yet. Which, if he improves over his last look from his last show, so much the better.
Hey, if someone like Nick Walker takes the reins, how do you think it's going to change the face of bodybuilding? Good, bad, or doesn't make a difference?
I don't know. He looks like a young dude who seems like he's doing stuff with life. So and he shares a lot on social media. I think that helps when you're an ambassador of the sport. You know, Big Ramy, we don't know what he does ever. I mean, uh, he's nearby, so I think he'd make a good ambassador. He seems like a bright kid. He's positive.
Well, he's opened up. I don't know if you realize he's opened up about some very personal things. You know what I'm talking about?
Who Nick Walker has?
Okay, yeah.
What was it, like anxiety or something like that, or what was it?
Oh, as I don't remember. I don't remember if he mentioned what age it happened, but he was sexually abused.
Oh, got you. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking about then.
And,
uh,
he was he came out and he talked about it, and I mean I give him a hell of a lot of credit for, especially I can see an older person into life and learn to deal with things a little better, but this is not he's not too far removed from it. What happened? And I was a little surprised that he came out like that, but I think he earned a lot of points for people by opening up and doing that. People can relate to you more when you open up and with your this private, really very private thing in your life, part of your life.
yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure his fans would like to know anything and all about him, so good or bad. So I mean, putting that out there is kind of a, you know, I don't know, it's like you said, it's kind of like a wear your heart on your sleeve kind of thing. A lot of people probably would appreciate that.
Yeah, and just people tend to gravitate towards people when they do that, and he does it. You know what? I think Nick Walker takes the title. It's going to make a big difference because he's so uh, well known in social media. He has such a big social media following.
Mhm.
Uh, whether you're a fan of social media or not, it makes a big difference.
Yeah,
And I think he has a following that's little bit outside the bodybuilding world. Also, I think his following extends outside the bodybuilding world, which is what ultimately the bodybuilding wants. Is we want to bring more people in, more mainstream people
yeah.
in, and make it more acceptable.
They want someone with character, plain and simple. Look at all the Olympias that ever won. I mean, they all had character of some sort. They were memorable. They weren't just some robot.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was something about them. They all had something. Arnold Schwarzenegger had it. Lee Haney had it. Dorian. It was with Dorian. It was like more of a mystique thing.
yeah, he got away with that shadow
But
stuff.
yeah, but Ronnie, Jay, they all had something, and I think he has that. He
Yeah,
has that,
yeah, yeah,
and I think it shows, and he works. He's a worker. He's a hard fucking worker.
yeah. I like to look at Jay Cutler's. He's one of the most successful bodybuilders ever, and he had an image, a personality. He put everything into bodybuilding, and uh, I mean, aside from that, he was an amazing competitor. He got how many second places on the Olympia to Ronnie
Well,
Coleman?
well, if you look at it, okay, let's go through this. 2001, where most people thought that he should have won.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
2001. He
That's
skipped
right.
2000. He skipped 2002, 2003, 4, 5, and then he beat him 6. So he got 4 second place victories, and then he beat him.
So then 4 second places and 4 Olympia wins.
Theoretically, if there was no Ronnie Coleman, uh, Jay Cutler might be hold the all-time record for most Olympia wins. Theoretically,
It's possible. Yeah,
Was
and
anybody
if he
was
didn't injure his bicep on that one year against Phil Heath,
during those years when when it was him and Ronnie battling each other? Was anybody close during those battles? Was
I
anybody
think
else close to them?
Gunter Schlierkamp or whatever, if I said
You
that
know
right.
what? They gave him they gave him such a special treat at that GNC show of strength. Ronnie wasn't as Ronnie was far from his best,
Uh-huh.
but Gunther Schlierkamp shouldn't have beat him. He never should have been on an Olympia stage. He never he was never he never qualified for an Olympia appearance. All his appearances were special invites. Joe Weider liked him. Was this tall, blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy with this beautiful, pretty smile.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, so during those years, it was Ronnie and Jay, and everybody else was a distant third and and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, theoretically, and like talking about Nick Walker, I see Nick Walker the same type of mindset as Jay Cutler.
He could
He's
be our next Jay Cutler. Could be.
yeah, yeah, and I think he knows how to market himself.
I remember watching Jay and Ronnie battle, you know, and like social media was kind of coming on. You'd see stuff on YouTube more. Those were such exciting times for me, man. I look forward to the Olympia so much to watch them.
Well, I saw them 4 years in a row. Jay and Ronnie were guest posers all the every Atlantic States championships that I did, the Ben Francis show, they were
Mhm.
the guest posers.
That's cool.
Matter of fact, my mom got to see Jay Cutler up close and personal. She was in the audience. The seat in front of her was empty. Jay walks out to the audience, walks through the aisle in front of my mom's aisle, gets on the seat right in front of her, stands up there, does a front double biceps. So my mom got to see him up close and personal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I met him twice myself. Yeah. Yeah, it was both it was at conventions or whatever, and there's a line of people to see him, and I think like a group of kids like cut in line and tried to get through the roped off part that was separating him from everyone else, and so I saw him a little after that. I could tell he was still agitated from it, but he was nice to me, and you know, I was a
He,
little starstruck.
he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's a big dude, yeah. All right, put my hand on his shoulder, take a picture, and you know, he's just a thick dude, and it was cool to meet him, and he was nice to me.
I
I wish
re-
I.
yeah, I remember walking past him. We would go headed to the stage to go out there for the prejudging, and he was standing over there with his where we were walking through with his shirt off. I swear to God, it took 15 seconds to walk past him. He was so, it's like took forever to pass him. He was so freaking wide.
Did he have a
I,
gravitational pull to him too?
you know, you see him on stage, you know he's a huge guy, but you can't imagine how big he is until you actually are standing right next to him. He's like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, both him and Phil Heath. I met both of them, and Phil's like I think he's like about an inch taller than me, but he's just so much. It's just the way he's put together, bro. It's like 3D, you know. And Jay, I think he's like 2 or 3 inches taller than me, and maybe 2 inches. But like
Well,
it's just those 2 inches fit. He brings an extra like 80 pounds with him. It's just incredible to me.
Phil Heath never went on stage that big. Uh, his body weight. He had such separation. That 3D look in his muscle gave the illusion that he had bigger than what he actually was. He gave him that cartoonish look, but I think he only stepped on stage about 245 at his best, which is not that big these days.
Really. I
Yeah,
remember when him and Chris Aceto, I believe they were playing around with his carbs, and I think they gave him like 1,000 carbs or something like the
well,
morning of.
that was Jay Cutler. Chris worked with Jay Cutler. I'm talking about Phil Heath. Phil Heath was never on stage more than about 245 at
Oh,
his best.
I
Yeah,
know.
had
Yeah,
the illusion that he was bigger.
I talked to Phil once. I asked him what he was weighing, and he was at like 260 or something. Yeah, and he said he still had to drop, like 10, 15 pounds for his next show. Phil Heath, dude, he talked to me for a long time. He was the one who actually, everyone always said he was a dick. He was the coolest guy to me, and I met him twice. He remembered me. He remembered the story I told him about my car wreck. So I can tell this story now because he's not competing and whatnot. But he told me about a car wreck he was in, and how he hurt his back and he had whiplash and like some inflammations and stuff. And he couldn't let his sponsors know. And like he's like, yeah, I just told you something. Like I don't want you to tell anyone. I never told anyone. And that was when he was like, I think it was after like his third or fourth win when I talked to him. And then I
See,
met him again, and he asked me how my back was doing. And I was like, is much better. Like I was blown away, dude. I couldn't believe it. But
you try to change my opinion on him. I never cared for him as a person, but I always acknowledged his greatness as a bodybuilder, but just showing a side of him that some people might not expect.
yeah, I whatever. I mean, it's probably some type of pressure. You got people blabbing in your ears, talking smack left and right. I mean, I could imagine him kind of losing his cool here and there. I probably would.
He could have handled the so. I know, but
Yeah,
he was really the first one to go through the social media age. It was just starting at the end of Jay Cutler's run. It was really through Phil Heath's era. But it's like anybody that's in any celebrity, you're in the public eye, and
yeah.
you conduct yourself, whether it's fair, whether you think it's fair or not. You need to conduct yourself in a different manner.
Oh yeah. I mean, look what happened to Rosie O'Donnell. And who else like said a few things, just a few things, and they're canceled. If you
Yeah,
lose your cool in front of everyone, you look at Will Smith. He's done.
he's finished. You know, people talk shit. You know, chalk it up to your success. Then people tend to talk more shit about people that are more successful. Take
Yeah,
it as twist it around, turn it around. Take it as a compliment.
yeah. It takes practice. Yeah. When I was younger, I was a little more hot, so I'd fire off on people. And now, when people say stupid shit online, I don't even respond. I just look past it. I might even like their comment just for bullshit, get shits and giggles.
Yeah, I already have a couple of trolls on the channel. I my as long as they don't say anything that's like really raunchy and way out of line, I don't give a shit. More, it just brings more attention to the channel, so that's fine.
Right?
But it comes with the territory. You're always gonna find somebody that's gonna like. I don't care for him. If I commented on anything about him, it would just be my opinion, but it wouldn't be uh, some sort of verbal assault on him.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna stoop to that.
Yeah. There's a respectful way to share an opinion about someone, even if it's negative.
But he also at times got a little offended by just simple critique, but that's another story. So
Yeah.
we both agree that Nick Walker is most likely going to step in his shoes.
Yeah. I see it. I think it'll happen.
Have you
So,
seen what's going on with this Justin Rodriguez? Well, you saw that his last two placings weren't too good. I thought he was qualified already for the Olympia, but it was the previous Olympia that he's qualified in and he competed in. He's not qualified yet, but he's second place in points. But seems like he dropped his coach, or while he was supposed to be still working under his coach AJ Sims, he was actually taking guidance from George Farah, who, by the way, was working with Blessing Awodibu. But it seems like George Farah is getting himself back on the scene again, and he's had a history of trying to snatch up competitors from other coaches, guaranteeing them that he can give them better placings. He can bring them to the Mr. Olympia title, and he seems to be back at it again. And he did it with Justin Rodriguez, and it looks like he also did it with Nathan Diasha. And it seemed like with Justin Rodriguez, everybody knew that AJ Sims was working with Justin Rodriguez. Nathan Diasha, nobody realized that behind the scenes, AJ Sims was working with him. And he was believed to be working under the guidance of the Oxygen people, the camera crew.
mhm.
But it seems like George Farah got his hands on Nathan Diasher also. So I don't know what's going on with these guys and these coaches. Nobody can seem to hold on to a coach. Stay with one coach. But why do they even need coaches?
Well, yeah, I think I competed a lot without a coach for many, many years, so I tried to learn as much as I could. And then when I finally had a coach, I placed the best I ever placed, which was Jeff Schneider, who we'll have on here I think next weekend.
It made a difference.
Oh yeah, he knows. He was the one who unlocked my diet. I tried so many different things and nothing would really. I'd get to a certain point and everything would halt, and then he got me so many levels past what I ever could get, and so having him as a coach really helped me. And I think when your own perspective is probably different from reality, and especially when you're dieting hard and you're not thinking straight, I think someone giving you a second opinion who is probably really valuable.
Why these guys? Okay, so in some cases the coach can be beneficial, but why these? It's not just those two. A lot of these guys are just jumping from coach to coach to coach. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I'd say stick with one because as a coach, I could imagine it'd take you a while to learn your client, to learn how they react. And oh, okay, this is how we look this year. All right, let's take some notes. We go back to the drawing board. This is what we're gonna try this year, and then next year. If you keep going to a new coach, they're just gonna like start from scratch with you every time, and I don't know.
Well, you know what? Also, you gotta. They have to be able to see quick changes. Also, because the way you respond, the certain protocol that and the way you responded to last year, you might not necessarily respond to in the same manner this year during your prep.
Sure, I
Your
mean,
body, your body can change that much where it's not going to respond the same. You were very happy with the results from that particular protocol, all the steps you took along the way, but your body might not respond the same way. You need somebody you to rely on a coach. He has to be able to see the differences and realize and be able to realize, well, your body's not responding exactly the same way. What are we going to do to fix this?
right?
A lot
Yeah,
of people will just blindly go by the same thing. And like I said, your body changes. Your body's not gonna maybe you will, but your body might not always respond the same way, and people have to understand that when they you have to understand that if you're taking care of your own prep, and your coach has to understand that also.
Yeah, well, all with all that in mind, I'll use myself as an example. It's been 5 years since I competed. I'm like probably 30, at least 30, 35 pounds of muscle heavier than I was. And last show I did, I came in like not, I came in a little flat, but I was definitely ripped as hell. And I told Jeff I thought I could have filled out more, and he agreed because towards the end when I carved up, all that happened was my metabolism sped up even faster, and I lost weight. So I don't know what I had probably had to put more fat in there to help fat load, and then absorb the carbs is my guess. And I told him that, and so we're gonna try something different this time around, with in mind that I'm 30, 40 pounds bigger than I used to be. So it's gonna be
Well,
hard, but I'm glad I have him to help me figure it out.
how far out are you starting this?
I've already like started. I've been just dieting moderately and not doing any cardio. Seeing
Well,
what my
how far out are you?
roughly 4.5 months.
All right.
So
Good. If you haven't been competing in like 5 years, your body, like I was just saying, your body can respond so much differently to everything you do. And the difference in weight is also going to make a difference in how the body responds.
and the other thing that I'll put out there, I'll be using PEDs or whatever, so that'll also change the outcome as well.
Yeah.
So
Hey, just the basic, right?
yeah, no, I'm not crazy, man. I do TRT on the regular, and if I do a little extra something, it's not crazy at all. I just do two things moderately, and I feel amazing off of that, and I make incredible gains. I've been stupid before and taken larger amounts of stuff and other compounds and taken someone's advice, and I didn't even take the full amount I was being coached on, and this is not from Jeff, but I felt like shit in the middle of it, and I weaned off of it and stopped early, and I was like, man, that's just too much. And so ever since, I've just done little things, and I've felt and looked the best off of that.
What is it saying? The the smallest, most effective dose is the way. That's the way they say it, right? The
Yeah.
smallest, most effective dose. That's really the way you should go. I remember when I first started competing. I was totally natural. After like 4 shows, I decided to jump in. I had a guy from the gym. He was a doctor, came from Russia. He was a competitor in Russia. The guy who used to help him over there lived in the United States now, so he hooked me up with him. And when I first met up with him, I went through my anabolic handbook, and I had a laundry list of stuff I was going to do and the doses I was going to take. And you know what? Good thing I had an honest guy because he couldn't take advantage of me. And he said, no, you don't need this, or you don't need that, and you don't need this, and you don't need to take this much of this. You'll take this and this, but you
Mhm.
don't need to take this much, and you don't need to take that much. And that's the way I started on a very, most people, if I talked to them and told them what I was taking, they would laugh at me. But you know what? My first show, I walked on stage, I think 146, very low body fat. My last show, I stepped on stage, 172, very low,
Nice.
very low body fat. And I really didn't use much at all. Part of it was probably because it was all these years and it was my first time around. But I didn't, if I used larger amounts, would have made any difference. And obviously, I put on a lot of muscle with the small, very small amounts I was using. So
Yeah, and when you think about it, you take the whatever the effective dose is, which is gonna be small, and then imagine if you were to like double or triple that for some stupid reason. How much more would you actually gain from that? Five
yeah,
pounds, 5 pounds of water weight, maybe,
if
maybe a pound of muscle.
you're gonna start at a smaller, lower dosage, and just carefully monitor yourself. If you might bump it up a little bit, just but you bump it up small increments.
Yeah,
And
right.
but you know what happens? You might have found your sweet spot already. So the person bumps it up, and they don't see any more changes, but they might have found their sweet spot with the amount they're using. So they don't see any more. They bumped it up. They don't see any more changes. So what do? Okay, oh man, I got to bump it up more, but it's not working, and then it becomes a never-ending cycle of increasing, trying to increase their rate of gains when they might have already reached the sweet spot of what they were using.
Right. And then, like I said, one other podcast, the unfortunate thing is that it happens to the guys who don't have the genetics. There was a guy who worked out at a gym I used to work out at, and he passed away recently. And this guy, I heard that he was on like 9 or 10 different things, and I've seen him before. The guy, he looked like he was taking a lot of stuff, but then like he didn't look like it was real muscle, or he wasn't even really that big. He was just like kind of built and like freakishly veiny. And I remember he always had trouble breathing. The sound it made, it was like he was something blocking his airway kind of thing. He could never get enough air, and he'd have to go outside and breathe. And then sure enough, I hear later he died of a heart attack. Rest in peace. But
Was it carrying a lot of weight?
not really. It seemed like a lot of water weight, to be honest. But he was just kind of like a taller guy who wasn't built thick, but he was trying to be thick. And everyone who knew him, they knew what he was taking. And I heard from many people, and they're like, he was on this and that and taking this much of this. I'm like, why? Why?
When you're holding too much water, that in itself is going to increase your blood pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, it puts pressure on your heart for sure. So, just take the stuff lightly. If you're going to get big, you're going to get big, and it's going to be from other reasons, not the gear you're taking. It'll help, but fuck, man, people need to chill out. You know, it's just muscle. Do it smart. Be healthy. Health is number one.
Who else do you think? Who do you think is going to be in that top three spots this year?
Well,
If we're going to assume that Rami's going to be there, is he gonna even make the top three?
yeah,
I actually question that.
I'll
I
give.
actually question that.
I'll tell you my top three. It'll probably be Nick and either. Well, it's hard to pick. I think Rami will make top three, but whether or not he's second or third is a question. Now, whoever else it is to make that top three, it could be Bonac, or it could be Hottie, or Brandon.
Well, I think Bonac is back. Whether he's going to make the very top spot, but he's going to be a force out there. He's not. I think he's made his comeback. It looks like he slipped a little bit. He also I think he's just back to training after surgery. He had his gyno taken care of.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I'm gonna throw a wrench in this. I would if you put me on a spot and you forced me to bet on it, I would bet. From what I've been hearing, I would bet that Robbie doesn't even show up.
That'd be funny.
Let me tell you something. From what I've been hearing, you put me on a spot. I had to make a bet on it. I'm betting Robbie doesn't show up. I think we're going to see top three. I think we're going to see Nick Walker. I think Brandon, and all depending with Hardy.
Yeah.
You know what? I really think his shoulders, if he doesn't do anything about it, is going to make a difference this year. Simply because he was told by the judges that that was a factor last year. If he takes care of the situation, I think we're going to see Walker, Curry, Chupan.
Yeah. I like that. I like
If he
that.
doesn't take care of the situation, I think Bonac is back and he's not out of the question for top three. I all in all, I like Bonac. He has a lot of dense popping muscle. You mentioned his waist, yeah. He looks a little blocky, but if he comes in conditioning and everything else is on point, I don't think that blockiness is really much of a factor. But Hardy is something else with the conditioning that he brings to the stage is next level. If he takes care of his situation, his problem with his shoulders, if he addresses it, I think he's going to be third. If not, I can definitely see William Bonac being third. So we either got Nick Walker, Brandon Curry, and Heidi Chupon, or we're going to have Nick Walker, Brandon Curry, and William Bonac.
I like that.
I don't think Rami's going to show up.
Was that?
I don't think Rami's showing up. I really, the more I hear, I listen to these people talk, people that would normally be in the know or be close to him, especially with Dennis James, there's something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And I don't think he's showing up, but we're going to see a new champion.
Good. I'd like to see someone new win it. Anyone but, don't mean to sound like a hater. I'm just tired of seeing Rami. I don't like his physique.
No, I think initially people just the way he's put together, his structure. There's nobody else out there quite like him. But when the closer you look at his physique, the more you can pick it apart. I think people were just taken by him at first because of his structure. You just never seen anything quite like that
Sure.
on the stage. But like I said, the more you look at his physique, the more you can pick apart on it.
Hey, speaking of weird structures, have you seen that guy who represents whatever the brand Rich Piana? It was 5%er.
Oh, Ilya Golem.
Is that his name? The guy with the back chair looking arms?
He has a moniker. I'm trying to remember what his moniker is, but I believe it's pronounced Ilya Golem.
Ah. Yeah, that guy needs to stop whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he's headed down a dangerous path. He's following
Rich Piana.
Piana.
You heard all the stories about Rich Piana and like how he had like a lady in LA that he would see to inject him with whatever homemade solution it was.
I did a video about that. Some people screaming at me to take the video down, that I'm out of my mind, but it's not so far fetched. It's believed by some that he was being injected with silicone under the muscle. Now, injecting silicone is not something that's unheard of. It's being done, and it's in South America. The women in South America it's becoming fairly common for them to do that. We've been hearing some horror stories of the results of it, especially
Yeah.
the type they're using. In some cases, they're using industrial type. There was some shit in Priscilla Presley was one of the women who were permanently damaged by it. They were holding these parties where this guy was supposed he wasn't even a licensed practitioner in the States, and they were having these parties where they were getting these filler injections, some sort of silicone, and so it's not unheard of. And yeah, Johnny Bravo said he heard about it. He spoke with people that were close to Rich Piana, and Greg Valentino also agreed that he had spoke with people that were close to him, and it's not that it's nothing that's not being done. It is being done, and we know it's being done. And yes, you're right. I heard that he finally found someone in L.A. that was able to do it, a transvestite. A lot of the trannies, according to Greg Valentino, who seems to been around a lot of this time, a lot of them get those type of injections.
Yeah.
And he eventually learned how to do it himself. Yeah, and he's going the same route. He's looking just like him. He's mimicking him with the tattoos, the look, and everything.
Yeah, it's horrible. I can imagine his health can't be the greatest no matter what he's doing.
He said he went for blood tests, but blood tests alone don't necessarily tell you a lot. There are tests that you need to be taking. But
Yeah.
he's going down a bad path, that guy. Yeah.
But yeah, there's just some parts of bodybuilding that get out of hand, and that's just the year we live in now. We have excessive, super duper, extra everything, and I just kind of miss back in the day when we had a good balance of everything.
What do you think that guy is weighing? He has to be weighing at least 350. At least. And he's trying to get bigger.
Oh,
He's trying
God.
to get bigger.
I have no idea. He just looks like a wingback chair to me.
Yeah. He's going to be I hate to say it, but the way he's going, he's going to be the next casualty
Yeah.
in the sport. You know what? I got this video is taking quite a while, and I hope it doesn't take me fucking 6 hours to get this up. I figured out how to. I cut the time in half. I can get an hour video produced and uploaded in about 2 hours time. But you get yours up much quicker than mine.
Yeah, I got a fast internet too, though. Mine's got the ultra upload speed.
Well, I'm totally technically illiterate. I got to find somebody who understands about this stuff. I found I found a video explaining a technique to supercharge the upload time. And in the video, the woman is uploading she'll upload the video on the app. And then while the video is uploading, she'll upload it a second time on the app. And then it seems to accelerate the upload time. It uploads in no time. But when I go to do it with the edited version, the produced version, the super speed doesn't work. If I use the raw version uploads in super speed, super fast time. And I can't figure out for the life of me why I can do it. And I tried the order in which I uploaded the raw version first or the raw version second. And no matter what I do, I can't get the right version to upload any faster. Everybody out there watching this video, if you know how I can get this thing uploaded for faster time, please leave a comment I read all the comments. I need some help over here because I can't deal with the time it takes to upload these videos.
Something other than get a faster upload package.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna upgrade my phone. My Android version upgraded just recently, but I'm gonna upgrade my phone. I have a feeling that if I go to 5G, it's gonna change the uploading.
Oh yeah, I think it does.
5G is supposed to download at a super fast speed, so I would imagine if it is increasing the download speed, it should have some sort of effect on the uploading. But other
At
than
the
that,
cost of getting brain cancer.
yeah, I don't know. I was reading about that, but I haven't got much time left on this earth anyway. I'll be 59 years old. By the time the brain cancer sets in and takes a hold of me, my time would have probably come anyway. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. So when are you going back for? Are you going back to the doctor for more tests?
Yeah, on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Uh, just to get the ultrasound again and I guess get her levels tested and make sure they're trending the same so that they don't dip. And if everything looks good then I'd say it looks pretty darn good from there on out.
But the doctor's not. Is the doctor overall too worried about this, or just doing this as precautionary?
I think it's more precautionary because Talia was thinking that he was like withholding a concern of his and that's why he wanted her back. But I think it's because he wanted to follow up on the ER's diagnosis or their assessment, uh, and it's probably just to be sure about things. But I feel like if a doctor had a concern, they wouldn't hide it from you. They would tell you, "Hey, I want you coming back in because X, Y, and Z."
Yeah,
Right?
I would imagine a good doctor would take that approach. Well, you mentioned the possibility that it could also be because of twins, right?
Right. And
I
my
told you
mom,
about that guy I knew back when years ago. My family used to be in a fur market. He was an older Greek fella. He was showing me his family pictures. I think he had two sets of twins and one set of triplets, and
wow.
all his kids had twins and triplets. So if it runs in a family, you might be in trouble,
Well,
especially come Christmas, especially come Christmas time.
so my mom said on her dad's side, her dad had two siblings that were twins. Both those twins had kids, and they both had twins.
Okay,
And then on my wife's side, my wife's father's side, twins running their family.
are you getting nervous?
I just wanted to be healthy. That's it. I'd be,
Of course, of course, of course.
yeah, that's all I care about. I would love to have twins, man. That'd be cool. So,
Uh, This guy,
uh,
I can't imagine what this guy's family reunions look like. Uh, as he, I'm sure it was two sets. I'm sure I remember correctly. It was so unique, I couldn't forget it. It was two sets. Immediate family was two sets of twins and one set of triplets, and or almost all of them had either twins and triplets. It was just I don't know. To me, that's a little scary. It's-
right. It's like a bunch of two-headed sperms or something, or
yeah,
double
yeah.
eggs, or whatever the fuck.
So your buddy Jeff's gonna start joining us possibly once a week.
I I I hope so. Yeah, he's interested in put himself out there on social media, and he can talk bodybuilding for days. Me and him always talk about that on the phone, and it's not even a podcast, but it could be.
Do a sep- We can do a separate little. If he's a regular, We can do a separate little show. Right now, if you're watching this on Muscle Central, it's Muscle Talk. If you're watching on Buffy the IronSlayer, it's Iron Talk. And if we have Jeff on it's Jeff, right?
Yeah, Jeff Schneider, the pacemaker freak.
Jeff Schneider. If we have Jeff Schneider on a regular basis, maybe we can turn this into a little free for all.
The little ramp crew.
Yeah, I like I like to go off every once in a while. It feels good. It's fun.
Right.
Anything else you want to say? Otherwise, we can start winding this down.
Nah, I think we covered about everything I could think of. I mean, well, there's more subjects that I got for like other podcasts I'm thinking of, so I'll mention that to you later. But nah, I think other than wishing everyone a happy day and thanking everyone for watching and
Yeah, we
support
appreciate
us
it.
doing our thing.
Make sure whichever channel you're watching this on, Muscle Central or Buffy the IronSlayer, go to the other channel and check out the content. And most importantly, listen carefully now. Most importantly, subscribe and turn on those notifications, and you'll be notified every time we put up more content.
Oh yeah.
All right, Chris. Let's try to get together on Saturday. Hopefully, we'll be able to work it out. Have Jeff Schneider, and we'll just take it and see where it goes.
Yeah, it could go anywhere with the three of us.
Okay.
So.
All right, this has been fun. I think it's ran a little longer than. How long did we go for this time?
An hour, 20 minutes.
Holy shit! And there's not too much to edit out. And it's going to be three hours uploading. Holy shit! Okay, everybody, we'll see you again for the next episode. And have a great night. Take care, Chris.
All right, you too, Michael. Later, guys.
Bye bye.
All right.